Welcome back, Guardians. This is PartTimeGuardian. In this video, we're going to talk about the Empyrean Foundation that's coming out this week and what the best way is to grind up Fractaline. If you like this video and you get value out of it, I'd appreciate subscribe. Again, it really helps me out. Get into the comments and we can talk about what to do next. Thanks. So at Reset this week, the Empyrean Foundation will drop. Again, this event has been a bit of a mystery, but we know it's tied to Saint 14. We also know that it's part of Season of the Dawn. As part of the event, Guardians will contribute as much Fractaline as they can. And as a reminder, if you don't know already, Fractaline is what you get from doing certain activities within Season of Dawn, specifically around obelisks. And we'll talk about that a little bit more later in the video. Per last week's TWAB, here are some of the things we do know. Contributing to the Empyrean Foundation costs 100 Polarized Fractaline. Contributing generates a 25% flat progression for all time-lost weapon bounties in your inventory. Your Tower Obelisk will generate Polarized Fractaline for each week equivalent to its resonance power. Increase the resonance power by upgrading your obelisks. And players who donate more than 5,000 Polarized Fractaline before the end of the season will earn a triumphant emblem. To tell how the community is doing with the event, there will be a tracker in the tower. And for that particular tracker, we know there's going to be a couple stages. We know there's going to be stages at 400 million, 700 million, and 1.2 billion. Past that, we don't really know, except there will be additional tiers. The one thing we don't know is what the rewards are going to be. We do know through leaks from the community that one of the rewards could be the return of Trials next season. Again, that's a theory. We don't know exactly how it's going to work out. Knowing Bungie, expect the unexpected. So how can you maximize and get as much Fractaline as possible? Well, there are a few ways if you haven't figured that out yet. First off, as you're grinding up things during the season, make sure you go into your triumphs under the Season of Dawn. Make sure you turn all those in. They won't happen automatically. So basically, if you get a triumph, go in there, click in the triumph area, and you'll get basically different amounts of Fractaline that'll drop for each of the triumphs. You're also going to want to try to do as many weekly bounties as you can on each character. Again, that will require you going to each of the obelisks and opening them up. So that's one thing you will have to do. You can get these from individual obelisks or at the main obelisk in the tower. Many of these bounties, again, as I've talked about before, can be combined with other bounties. So while you're working on one, you can work on others. The things that you primarily would combine this with are things for strikes, Banshee, or Gambit, which again, those are things you could be doing if you're trying to get Bright Dust and you're trying to level up your seasonal rank. Also, Saint 14 has daily bounties for Fractaline. Some of those bounties overlap some of the stuff I talked about, but there's also ones for Sundial. So again, you're going to want to pay attention. Again, this is where it can be efficient Guardian, especially for your part-time Guardians, how you level things up. Besides just doing bounties, it appears that leveling up obelisks will grant additional Fractaline each week. So basically, if you bring up the resonance factor, every week you'll actually get some set amount of Fractaline that'll drop. We don't know how much that is, but I think at the minimum I would recommend before Reset is going in and upgrading to at least 11, because that'll allow you to get your triumphs and it'll also allow you to get some of your other bounties. The other thing this will allow you to do is allow you to get Fractaline again through certain bonuses you get from leveling up those obelisks from the end of strikes and Crucible and things like that. This is a very passive way to get Fractaline while you're working on other things, so I'd highly recommend that. Within the Season Pass, there are also Fractaline Harvest, so continue to grind that up. In addition, there's a Fractaline Skimmer you can buy from the Tower Obelisk, again, if you've leveled it up. That can increase your chance to get Fractaline from activity, so again, these things kind of build on top of each other. If you contribute the 5,000 to the cause, you get the Triumph, and you also which will probably grant you additional Fractaline, and you'll also get an emblem, which, you obviously you'll only be able to do certain time. Once you get past that, at that point, you'll probably just want to continue to upgrade your obelisk to get the weekly Fractaline and grind out bounties. Now, the thing about it is we don't know what the tiers are for leveling up your obelisk, how much additional Fractaline you'll get. So again, we'll probably just want to keep a close eye on that, because there's going to be a balance of leveling up your obelisk with Fractaline, but also trying to contribute to the cause. So we'll have to figure that out as a community. The question is, what are the upper tier rewards going to look like? What are those things? Obviously, you get a triumph, and you obviously get your emblem, but what do the upper tier rewards look like? We don't know right now. And again, knowing Bungie, it might be interesting. So sound off in the comments. What do you guys think will be there? What things outside of Trials do you think will be unlocked? It'll be interesting. Knowing Destiny's community and the craziness of, for instance, a recent Quarters of Time puzzle, anything is possible. You know, I know Bungie's like, well, people are like, hey, we don't know if we can get to those levels, but knowing past events, Bungie's community can pretty much do everything. So that's the video, guys. I hope you found it valuable. Again, if you did, feel free to subscribe to the channel, get into the comments, and we can kind of talk about, you know, again, what do you think the rewards are going to look like? And as always, Guardians, I'll see you, Guardians, in the tower.